Salve omnes, today we will be learning from chapter 20 of Wheelock, which includes fourth declension nouns and ablatives of place, from which, and separation. The fourth declension of nouns is very easy to recognize, due to the fact that it has a distinctive U in almost all of its forms. Like the third declension, it encompasses all three genders. The masculine and feminine have the same endings, while the neuter has its own set of endings. To decline, just follow the usual pattern of adding the endings to the base/stem of the noun. Remember that you find the stem/base of a noun by taking the ending off of the genitive. In the masculine and feminine, the fourth declension endings are as follows: us in the nominative, long us in the genitive, ui in the dative singular, in the accusative singular, u in the ablative singular, long us in the nominative plural, in the genitive plural, ibus in the dative plural, long us in the accusative plural, and ibus in the ablative plural. In the neuter, the forms are slightly similar. The singular has a long u as its ending in every case except the nominative and the genitive. In the plural, the nominative plural ending is ua, the genitive plural ending is the dative plural ending is ibus, the accusative plural is ua, and the ablative plural is ibus. Because of those similar endings in the singular, you will need to use context clues to figure out what case is being used at the time. Let's look at two examples. The first is the feminine noun manus, a very common fourth declension noun. The nominative singular is manus, the genitive singular is manus, the dative singular is manui, the accusative singular is manum, and the ablative singular is manu. In the plural, the nominative is manus, the genitive is manuum, the dative is monibus, the accusative is manus, and the ablative plural is monibus. Now let's look at the neuter noun genu, which is another popular fourth declension noun. Genu is the nominative singular, genus is the genitive singular, genu is the dative singular, genu is the accusative singular, and genu is the ablative singular. In the plural, genua is the nominative, genuum is the genitive, genibus is the dative, genua is the accusative, and genibus is the ablative. This chapter also introduces two new uses of the ablative. Up until now, we have learned the ablative of prepositions, the ablative of means, the ablative of accompaniment, the ablative of manner, the ablative of numerals, the ablative of time, and the ablative of agent. The first new ablative construction in this chapter is the ablative of place, from which. It is an ablative that tells you where someone is coming from. It is recognized as an ablative with the preposition a/ob, de, or e/x, with a verb of active motion. It is translated as from noun. In the example sentence, Graeci a patria sua ad Italiam navigaverunt, the Greeks sailed from their own country to Italy. A patria sua is the ablative of place, from which, and is translated as from their own country. In the example, Cicero hostes ab urbe misit, Cicero sent the enemies from the city. Ab urbe is the ablative of place, from which, and is translated as from the city. In the example sentence of Flumen de montibus in mare fluxit, the river flowed from the mountains into the sea. De montibus is the ablative of place, from which, and is translated as from the mountains. You'll notice that each of these examples has a verb of motion: sail, send, and flow. The other ablative construction introduced in this chapter is the ablative of separation. It implies that some person or thing is separate from another. There is no movement from one place to another. It sometimes uses a preposition, but with certain verbs meaning to free, to lack, and to deprive, there is no preposition. Let's look at some examples. In the sentence, Cicero hostes ab urbe prohibuit, Cicero kept the enemy away from the city. Ab urbe is the ablative of separation and is translated as from the city. In the sentence eos timore liberaverit, he freed them from fear. Timore is the ablative of separation with a verb of freeing and is translated as from fear. In the example agricolae pecunia saepe carebant, the farmers were often lacking money. Pecunia is the ablative of separation with a verb of lacking. There is no verb of motion in any of these examples, which sets it apart from the ablative of place from which. There is no cultural bit today, as the story on the worksheet is yet again from Cicero's speech against Catiline. Be sure to start working on your worksheet for this chapter. Volete omnes.